when spiritual philosophy, or all of our knowing, all of that gathering of knowledge starts to enter the inner world, really something true starts to happen. Usually what happens is that when we are exploring philosophy in many ways, or spirituality, we do so from a safe standpoint. Health might be intact, or relationship is okay, or stability is there in work, or whatever. Not everybody, of course. Some people come through desperation, but many come through the kind of safe path. But life is unpredictable, and on the divine level, each of us gets our calling, each of us gets our opportunity, and the opportunities, the invitations, don't come in the way that we like them to come. And many that I've worked with, and I know this one myself, have had the experience and the profound, fiery, really pretty scary experience of being invited through the body. The experience of the body when it starts to, shall we say, go wrong, whatever that may mean, or things start to happen. We get ill, we get symptoms, we get some catastrophic thing that happens. Could be an accident, could be a breakage, could be this, could be that, or it could be a chronic illness that arises, or some diagnosis that goes, that takes the ground away from us. Or it could be a grief, of a loved one, or something that comes along and takes the ground away from us, or something else. It could be a job or a career that we've had, that we've invested our entire self in, and something comes along and challenges everything that we are, challenges every principle that we've learned, challenges all of our spiritual learning, challenges the entire, spiritual self, or self, that we are, that we've come to believe ourselves to be. And it really rips away the ground from under us. And there is the rub, right? How do we deal with that? Because that's where the spiritual wisdom, or the philosophical knowing, or starts to come into the very lived experience. And that is where we, where our true spirituality is measured in many ways, not measured by some outside force, and not even really measured by us, but measured as a means of saying, how deep can we meet life? How spiritually deep can we meet life? Where does the equanimity live? What are we learning about the deepest acceptance? How do we live in surrender when every atom of the self is screaming, I'm going to die and I can't face this? How do we navigate that territory? And this is not a video that says, oh, we do this or do that. All I'm bringing focus to is that that's where the forging really is. That's where the depth really is. Because when things start to go wrong, particularly in the body, and when things start to become challenging, and even we get this kind of, a fear of death becomes a reality. Early in life, it starts to become a reality. It's a deep invitation. It's not for the faint-hearted. And it's an experience that, although most of us meet later on in life, you're still not prepared for when it comes. Most people still aren't prepared for when it comes, which is why the calling really is to die before you die, to actually embrace the possibility, the knowing. But it's on a whole different level when it comes to you and your intimate personal experience, because it shatters the very foundations that you stand on, and it calls you to a knife edge. For instance, it calls you to the knife edge of the deepest acceptance, but the desire to carry on. It's not a resignation. So you have to navigate these sort of duality in a way, in an honest way, that says, well, I don't know what's going to happen in my life, because we never know what's going to happen in our life, and I'm going to bring my full focus, my full attention, my full presence to healing, the possibility of healing the wounds within, not as a way of getting to the future, but because I want that peace now. I remember for myself, I've spoken to this before, in the midst of illness, really bad symptoms back in the 2009, I think, 2009, 2010, I took myself out to the woods and just lay down and gave up. And said, God, take this body, but give me peace. Take this body. I no longer know how to do, I can't function, I haven't got as much control as I thought I had. I'm desperate, I'm frightened, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the inner torment of this experience. Please take this away, but you can have the body. Kind of what I was saying was, I need to surrender here, and I don't know how to do that. So I just, in that giving up, I lay down and just saw the stars and the trees and the canopy above me of these beautiful oak forest it was, and I looked up and and just realized that I haven't got as much control over my life as I thought that I had, and that there is peace available, but it's not a peace of the mind. It's a peace that bypasses the mind, not bypasses in a bad way, but goes beyond mind, underneath mind, beyond the mind itself. Mind can have its way, emotion can have its way. They're aspects of the human condition, but the peace that passeth understanding, is available. And I embraced that availability, and it took me 10, 15 years to grow into that availability. And I did do. And now there's a greater equanimity, even though the body is cranky and it moves and it changes, and some days it's good and some days it's not so good. So, going back to the front of this video, what I'm saying is, this journey is the forging. This journey that you're on is the way. There's no other way. The journey is the way. We're looking for another way. We're looking for an easier way. We're looking for a more simple way. We're looking for an understanding that, is this way okay? Surely it shouldn't be like this. And you end up stop arguing with the way and walking in the way that you have. Each of us as individuations has our own unique footprint. You can't escape that footprint. You can't escape your life. In order to find freedom, you have to go through your life, into your life, and find the freedom within your life. And there's no point in, arguing about what happened in the past, ultimately, because it happened. And the only way through is to see the beauty that's here now, not in the physicality, but in the depth of the soul. To go deeper and to see one's own experience in this existence as being the very gateway to the soul's realization that it is okay, that it is love as it is now, not somewhere up in the future when you're a bit more healed. because you might not be a bit more healed. The only opportunity is now. And this is life pouring into us, as the invitation is here now, in this body, in this moment, with this illness, with this ailment, with this problem, with this difficulty, with this imperfection. You know, the perfection is held in the imperfection. Duality is such, but singularity is such that the imperfection knows and sees and holds a certain, the perfection holds, sees and knows that an imperfection arises. Form is imperfection. Formlessness is perfection. Both of those exist simultaneously. But our mental, habits want us to fix the imperfection, fix the imperfection, fix the imperfection, and we can't escape that mindset of fixing all of the imperfections. But it's a hiding to nothing. It doesn't go anywhere. Ultimately, it doesn't go anywhere. And that's not to say give up. It's to say realize, realize, realize. Surrender the fixer. Surrender the one who wants to fix without giving up. Surrender the one who wants to fix without giving up anything. But just realize the perfection beyond the imperfection.